Hello everyone, No Life here, and today I'll be going over the brand new game mode added to TCM, Rush Week. So for those of you who do not know, Rush Week is a game mode that focuses around Johnny trying to get rid of six sorority girls here. Now, Johnny functions quite differently than the way he does in the base game mode. He still has his hunt ability, and he definitely still maintains that notorious lunge of his. However, some of his abilities are locked behind executing the sorority girls here. So, straight out of the gate, they seem to have added some secret perks to Johnny, as he appears to have big swings added to him, his kit by default. Either that or his endurance is just that bad in this game mode that he only can swing like what feels to be four, maybe five times before stamming. He does have the new ability of being able to pick a lock, which I also like to add. That animation is a little choppy and needs to be polished, but moving on. This feels like around 20 proficiency level of picking, as it's pretty slow. It's definitely not quick. However, it is much faster than his ability to barge objective doors open. This is due to the fact that Johnny is the outsider here. This isn't him securing a property. This is him breaking into a property and attempting to, of course, end the sorority girls here. So it's actually a little interesting role reversal they decided to do here. But there is more of a drawback to barge the door, as it takes a much longer time than picking it. However, barge it prevents the girls from being able to slam Johnny with it. So I think the risk is definitely worth the reward of, again, not having to worry about being slammed when it comes to getting into the sorority house here. Now, talking about Johnny's new abilities here, Johnny, by default, seems like he has an experienced stalker's level of proximity, as it's pretty small. You have to be pretty much breathing down Johnny's neck to be detected by him. However, once you start getting kills, his first ability he unlocks is no proximity warning. So when you are really close to him, you still do get the little noise it makes when you're near him. So maybe that's something you might want to kind of fix. However, it still does definitely have its benefits, as I've been snuck up on Johnny with his somewhat warning you get from him being near you or really on top of you. But next up, after he gets two girls, he regains his hunt ability. Now, his hunt ability is interesting, as it's basically a super buff version of it, as he gains both the cold and hot fresh prints ability and the quicker studying of the footprints. So it definitely is an excellent form of tracking, as being able to see whether the girl you're chasing is near you or not, and being able to instantly pick up on them, well, almost instantly, is definitely a great tool here, as it's called Rush Week for a reason, people. You definitely have to rush to get those kills before they rush and escape from you. But moving on, his third ability gives him a speed boost. It seems to be around scout levels of speed, but with so many doors you could throw in front of Johnny, it's very easy to slow him down. So it's hard to really see how fast he truly is unless you manage to find yourself in a wide open area where he has the ability to just run you down. Now, the fourth ability he gets is an interesting one. It's called Bloodlust. The way Bloodlust works is it gives Johnny a stamina boost, which allows him to be able to, as far as I can tell, swing infinitely and run infinitely as well. And if you manage to kill five girls, well, it's basically curtains for the last one, as he gets the fight ability, which greatly boosts his damage, allowing him to one-shot a sorority girl, which says a lot because he already by default can two-tap a sorority girl. Getting back into Johnny's default abilities, I kind of glazed over this one. He can still barge doors, of course. However, it's not the two-tap barge to point level of barging like he gets in the base game, as it takes him around 5 barges to get through the doors. In addition to that, they appear to have gotten rid of the barge tech for this game mode, as it is really weird, inconsistent. Sometimes I've been able to pause the game and look at the scoreboard, but most of the times I cannot. So by locking you out of being able to pause it, you cannot barge tech, which definitely stops Johnny from being able to get down those doors much faster, to make up for, again, the fact that he doesn't by default just break them down almost instantly anymore. Now, I think that's just about it for all the cool new things Johnny can do getting to the girls. As the Toon Set itself says, they are not defenseless. They do have ways of fighting back against Johnny. First one being the knife. This works similar to the bone scrap, except you cannot grapple. Do not listen to the Toon Set there. That is a lie. I have not seen any prompts for grappling Johnny all the times I've picked up the knife. However, the girls, they don't seem to have enhanced strength, but stabbing Johnny with a knife does seem to apply a 40 shrimp stun. It's pretty long, but it's not long to the point that he goes into his little tamper animation he does, like when he runs out of stamina after the stun. I play plenty of Luma, so I know what 40 shrimp backstabs look like. But moving on, we have a new item, the perfume. What this does is if Johnny runs through it, or any of the girls at that, they will have their auras highlighted. As far as I could tell, it's for both sides. And it screws up Johnny's hunt ability. However, from what I've noticed, Johnny can just deactivate his hunt, wait for the cooldown to refresh, and then just use it immediately. So it's nice being able to kind of temporarily throw him off your trail, but again, it'd have to allow Johnny to just not be able to track until the perfume effects wore off for it to really be effective. Now, moving on, we have the pepper spray. I can't stand this item. Originally, I thought the perfume blinded Johnny as well, but apparently it does not. So that was something I was confused about. But the pepper spray works like Virginia's powder. The only difference between that and the pepper spray is Virginia can't blind herself with a her boon. You can blind yourself with the pepper spray. It hasn't gotten me killed, but it definitely is pretty annoying. As there's times where I just want to blind Johnny, then rather than getting blinded myself, and it kind of makes me lose the distance I would have gotten from, well, me not being blinded. Now, the final item that they added is going to be the wrench. The wrench acts like a Leland barge where you'll be able to go up to Johnny and smack him with it. It's a pretty decent stun too. It feels like it's around Leland's level 2, if not 3 barge. But one thing I want to point out is when you're doing certain interactions like trying to call the cops, which I'll get to later, you definitely do run the chance of being killed by Johnny, as unfortunately when you're doing these interactions they do not give you the ability to exit them, so you're kind of locked in on them. And again, if you weren't able to hit Johnny with the wrench during that, you would still end up getting killed. So that's a pretty crappy aspect about those interactions, so definitely be careful with those. Now, getting into the way the sorority girls can get out, they have 2 new ways to escape, and these are the only ways to get out, and that is by calling the cops or using another item, which I get into in a second here. So you have 2 ways to call the cops. That's by using the CB radio, which could be done by simply finding a set of car keys, opening the door, starting the car, and then radioing for the cops. However, Johnny can pull you out of the car, so you have to be careful, as unlike hiding spots, the animations are actually lined up, which means Johnny can attack you as soon as you gain movement of your character, so you have to watch out for that, as if he knows what he's doing, he'd be able to time those swings right and get you when you're pretty much exposed there. Now, the other way of getting out is going to be by finding a fuse, getting a screwdriver, opening it up, putting in, solving the puzzle there, and then finally calling the cops on the phone as you can find around the house. Now, the phone spawns about 3 locations. 2 of them are downstairs in the game room and the living room. The last one is upstairs. So you definitely want to be careful with the phone, as the one upstairs is basically a death trap. It's so easy for Johnny to proc that one. A lot of the times, you will end up getting yourself killed trying to call there, unless one of the girls are either protecting you or running some sort of distraction, whether it be chasing them some other area of the house that is pretty far away from him, or simply try to go do the CB radio while you do the phone. Now, if you manage to call the cops, a 6-minute timer will start, and once it hits 0, all the remaining survivors will escape. However, if you manage to pull both the phone and the radio off at some point in time, it actually cuts down the timer to 3 minutes. So that is a nice little reward that encourages you to do both objectives, which I really enjoy, as it'd be a little redundant if you didn't get any reward for calling the cops twice. So kudos to them for thinking that part out. Now, the final escape is going to be the attic pole. The attic pole, escape is as easy as finding an attic pole, then running upstairs to the attic, and then doing a long interaction which result in you escaping. Now, unfortunately, only two of the girls could escape through the attic, but one thing I've noticed is this attic seems to be bugged, as a lot of times you have to reach certain requirements for the secondary to get out. Usually, the person who opens it has no problem getting up. However, I wasn't sure if getting the attic is bugged or maybe there's some sort of unknown thing they neglected to mention to us. But it seems that either you have to crouch as you approach the attic to get up without it breaking, or have an empty inventory. I'm not sure. All I know is every time I've tried to get up through that attic, it's broken on me, which got to the point where, unless I'm the one doing it, I don't even bother going for it. It's a pretty cheesy escape, and it results in a lot of sweaty Johnny players doing some dirty tactics to avoid the girls getting out, because again, it's BS. It not only allows them immediate escape, but it's just it makes you feel cheated, as it's basically the only way a lot of the girls end up getting out. As I've had plenty of games where we've managed to call the cops, but we weren't able to survive against Johnny for those 6 minutes. So I definitely would equate Rush Week to being hard mode for the victims, as with your ability to fight back being limited and the girls themselves not having abilities, they have to find items to really kind of defend themselves. I mean, they still have plenty of doors to use against Johnny, but those are double-edged swords. As one gold door slam could get you killed by Johnny, as again, he kills you with just two swings. So these girls feel like they have zero toughness, and then Johnny's got some sort of passive that makes him break doors down much slower in exchange for him getting what appears to be an additional 45% extra damage on top of the big swings he seems to be rocking. So that's definitely something you got to watch out for. The girls' proficiency seems to be out 20, much like Johnny's. They have what seems to be 15 strength. I'm guilty of not trying to barge doors as them, as there's generally no reason for you to. There'd be multiple openings around the house and etc. And bars, you of course, giving away your location for two-tap Johnny to take advantage of you. Again, I said it before, but I don't think their strength is tied to the knife stun. That seems to be an item exclusive thing, but their stealth is probably 10 to 15 as well, as it seems pretty bad. And endurance seems to be locked in at 25, which seems to have caused a bug that makes the base game victims locked at 25 as well, but that's for a different video. But moving on along, another unique mechanic to this game mode is going to be the fear mechanic. This makes it so if you hide in one place for too long, eventually your screen darkens and you are revealed in blue to Johnny. Now, I've had some bugs with this where for some reason, even though I've been constantly moving around, my fear still gets up. So I'm not sure if there's other aspects, like maybe walking past dead bodies, that does it. I don't recall seeing any, yet my fear kept bordering around high and revealing me, which definitely eventually got me screwed over, albeit not as fast as I thought it would have. But it's definitely some issues to this game mode that need to be sorted out. However, we'll get into that a little later. The last new mechanic to this game is going to be the vents. These work like the wells. However, I recommend not interacting with these at all, as the way these things work is once you interact with a ladder you'll find usually around a bathroom, the girls open a vent, then they slowly climb through it. If Johnny finds you doing this at any point in time, all he has to do is hit you twice, you go around a corner and find the bathroom that you will be relocating to. These bathrooms are very telegraphed, and it doesn't take much effort to find them. My first game ever playing Johnny, I was able to track down what bathroom the girl lighted to, and I was able to get a nice easy kill off of them. And if you don't manage to find a bathroom in time, generally, again, if you've at least managed to hit them as they're going through that vent, their toughness is terrible. It takes them forever to recover. You'll be able to find them, latch the door if you have to, and get that easy kill. Same thing goes for windows. Windows are hit and miss. Some of them will take you to a spot in the map where even if you have to recover, it'll take Johnny way too long to get to you. Others will put you in a spot where he might be able to just straight up run down and kill you as you're still standing up, as the windows don't take you far enough outside for him to be able to go run down and get to you. So you definitely want to be careful with the windows. I've even seen some people try to jump the windows to quickly get to the fuse box. Again, these girls are so squishy, Johnny can now one-tap you off a window if it doesn't end-cap you, so I definitely wouldn't recommend doing anything like that, as if I didn't mention before. The girls have access to the doors. The only door they cannot for free open up is going to be the basement door. You have to pick that open, so I recommend doing so whenever you get the chance to, as having Johnny being able to latch a door while that basement is still locked will usually end up getting you killed. Thankfully, there is a wrench that has a force spawn in the basement that you could use to fight back against Johnny if you end up down there. But those usually come fast, as with this game being out as long as it has, a lot of these locations are known to the girls, so they're going to be going for them pretty quick. Now, I believe that just about covers everything new and fresh about the game mode. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty of my thoughts, opinions on it, and what have you. So this is going to be probably a bit of a hot take, but I personally think that this mode is much more balanced than the main game mode. There's no ridiculously strong gaps that the girls can take advantage of. All the gaps are long gaps that give Johnny plenty of time to cut around and cut you off at. It definitely adds some mind games ability to, where you could go towards the gap, fake like you're going to it, then run a different direction, or gap the gap back before Johnny can get to you and confuse him as to where you went and what have you. So I definitely would love if they were to keep stuff like this about for the main game mode, as they definitely made this map with there being only one killer in mind, so there's no hostage situations to really deal with. The only hostage situation I've really noticed is going to be this picnic table in the back of the house, and even then, if Johnny's smart, he would just avoid any girl who tries to run him back there, as there's nothing back in that area except for the fuse box. And generally, you don't even want to really try to defend the fuse box as Johnny. You want to more so try to defend the phone, car, and if you can, the attic, as those are the actual escapes. Fixing the fuse box is only one step that the girls need to take to escaping. So again, I wouldn't put too much stock into protecting that if I were you. So one fix I'd love to see to that table, just to stop it from being an issue, because of course it still is cheesy. It shouldn't be a thing. That is going to be for them to, by default, give Johnny his scout level speed he gets from level 3. And they could kind of remove Vardy's abilities, as I feel like there definitely is some things they could do with Johnny to make him a bit stronger. Yeah, I know, I can two-tap you, but it doesn't matter if the girls are all smart and not opening the front door while he's picking it, just handing him a kill, or jumping out the window while he's still clearly outside for him to just go up and two-tap you while you're doing a long pickup animation or what have you. I believe that Johnny should have his hunt ability by default or base, whatever. However, it'd be his, again, base hunt, where he has to crouch down, slowly analyze the prints, and they're yellow, so you don't know how close or far they are. We could then, of course, buff his hunt ability at level 1. We could give him the ability to barge down doors faster at level 2. Level 3, we could buff his hunt so it's faster to analyze them, and the hot and cold footprints are back. If I didn't say so already, I'm pretty sure I just said. Well, yeah, 4 is the bloodlust, and 5 is that the one hit. So I guess those are fine where they are. But again, just some sort of rework with his abilities and how he unlocks them, I think would be great to helping Johnny out a little bit there. Another thing that I actually had someone else suggest, and I think is a good idea, is that the attic should not be accessible, even if they have the pole, unless the cops have been called. As being realistic here, what's hiding in the attic going to do if no one knows they're being attacked? All Johnny would do is just kill the rest of the girls and then go ahead, pull a table up in front of that attic there, climb up, and then go gut the girl while she has no way of getting out. So I think if you had to call the cops to escape out of the attic, that cut all the issues with the attic right there. They wouldn't need to rework spawns or do anything else. As the attic does make a loud noise, it takes a long time to interact with it, but again, it's still an instant escape, so it feels really bad having victims be able to get out so fast, basically be unavoidable. And the game even says so itself. Johnny doesn't kill all the girls. It's not a win, so stop all that copium you're huffing on, saying, oh, well, I killed most of them, so I win. That's just you trying to make yourself feel better about not killing them all, let's be honest here. Now, I think that's just about everything I really need to discuss here. Again, there's only two wrenches, so never mind the fact it's a long stun, and you can't, of course, do objectives in front of people and stun Johnny while someone else does it. That's all fair. That's like complaining about Leland protecting Connie as she does objectives there. I mean, that's kind of the point of having multiple family members in the main game, so they don't gang up on you. You have backup now. Naturally, with there being six girls and just Johnny, that's the thing that balances out. They have the numbers, but Johnny can two tap them. So yeah, you know. But again, I can't really think of anything else to really say here. Again, I enjoy Rush Week. I feel like if they were to fix some of the bugs, such as again, you getting stuck in certain spots. I've seen people who are getting stuck in walls or not interacting with some of the objectives properly. Again, the bench. It's pathetic seeing a Johnny getting looped there and just DCing because he can't catch the one person he really wanted to catch, and he just kind of throws the game chasing someone back there. Let's be honest, he shouldn't. I mean, I get it. You see someone, you're a big bad killer, you should be able to kill them. It's unrealistic that he can't climb over the bench and get him anyway. So I think again, it's a default speed boost to stop that nonsense would be enough to get away from that immersion breaking factor. Definitely, if it's the pepper spray's bug, fix the fact that it can blind you. That's just nonsense. Yeah, I hope it can't blind another girl too. It'd be very upset if Courtney over here blinds me with the pepper spray and I get killed by Johnny as a result. The perfume bottles, I've had my aura revealed by the perfume bottle when I was nowhere near the cloud. I've thrown it down, walked through. I didn't get revealed right away, so just sure up all the issues with that. Reveal me right away if it has to. I don't care if Johnny can see me, but don't let me get revealed by a perfume bottle. I'm nowhere near. That's just nonsense. Allow us to stop interacting with the phone, or really just calling the cops in general. Really, if we see Johnny coming, it's pretty stupid that you get locked in animation, you get killed because it won't let you not interact with it. Fix the issues with the car. For some reason, with the car, sometimes when you start the car up, it forces you out, and you have to get back in. Then when you try to call the cops, when you hold it down, it doesn't actually call. It bugs out. So you have to like press it and then hold it. Like stuff like this gets me killed all the time because it takes so long to interact with this car. Even if Johnny was preoccupied, whatever stopped him or whoever he was chasing or whatever stopped him from getting out sooner, there's going to be enough time for him to come ahead and kill you. I mean, like, this is just such an amazing game mode. I just love the atmosphere of it. It's a little immersion breaking that the girls use the same animations as the girls from the main game, so they're running around holding their stomach like they're injured. I mean, I guess it could be that time of the month and all, but how about we go tweak the animations a little bit so they're not holding their stomachs or or the sides or whatever when they walk unless they get hurt. I don't think it'd be too hard to tweak that one little animation. They wouldn't even need to have it mocapped. Oh, geez, this is a big one for me. Please let me choose my kill on Johnny. I can't stand doing the default execution to everyone. That got so old so fast. I already hate the default executions as it is for most of the characters. As the default kill, you're gonna by law just see them all the time. But again, you being forced to that one kill is really annoying. They need to fix the issues with the lobbies where you can't change your outfits for the girls when there's too many people in it. There's supposed to be an option for you to opt out of playing Johnny, but the way the lobbies work in this is once a certain amount of the players get in the lobby, it automatically drops the timer down to 30. When you get a full lobby, it drops it down to 15 seconds, and then the option to opt out of playing Johnny disappears. So now you get people who don't want to play Johnny and will quit right away as soon as they load into a lobby because again they didn't want to play Johnny. Their whole excuse of wanting this game to be lightning fast, you get in and out, kind of falls flat in his face when you want to play Johnny, not the girls, and all you can get is the girls or the vice versa. This is also super rare to even play Johnny. And then for some people, it's super rare for them to play the girls. It's super RNG. Like, I've played Johnny maybe 5 times as of recording this video. So, having to go hours before playing him is pretty annoying. I'm fine with playing both sides. However, there definitely are times when I've played the girls 10 times in a row. Like, okay, I like the Happy Johnny game here. I want to see if I could put some of these theories of mine on how to win to the test. But we don't get enough games to really put into practice. You get one game where there's some girl that for some reason is trying to door slam you or stab you in the back as you're picking it. It doesn't quite go as planned because you didn't expect someone to do some bully crap like that. I mean, you still end up killing them, but now they get in through the attic because you took so long to get inside. You couldn't kind of protect it and stuff. It just leaves you unsatisfied when you finally do get to play Johnny. But I feel like I've just about read my course on all the things I have to say about this mode. So instead of me just stammering and stuttering and trying my hardest to find what else I could possibly think of with this game mode, I really think that's about it. I didn't mention it earlier, but by default, they probably should increase how fast Johnny can break the doors open with the bars just to stop situations like this here where I'm picking open. I'm sorry. While Johnny is breaking down a door, I went and grabbed some lock picks. So, doing stuff in front of killers. I said that a billion times for the main game. That shouldn't be a thing, and it definitely shouldn't be even on Rush Week here. But that's it this time. I really don't think there's anything else to really say here, so I'm gonna go ahead and edit here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna get some more thoughts on Rush Week when I go over the patch as a whole. Uh, my next video. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. You know the usual spiel everybody does at this part of the video here, but my spiel is this. As always, if you haven't already, get a life.